Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from High Branch Brewing Company out of Concord, North Carolina. This beer is called Summer Dayz. You can see right there, it's a Hazy Wheat IPA, and it is 5.8 ABV. That's the only thing I know about it. I don't think they've released what hops are in it, so I'm going to crack it open and see what we got. So as you can see, it pours a really hazy, bright golden color with about a finger's worth of nice fluffy white head that's sticking around. It smells good. There's a lot of peach and pineapple. There's definitely a lot more tropical than the last IPA I had from them. Was like a little bit more citrusy. This one's like peach and mango and pineapple. Kind of that general house like bready sweetness that their IPAs have too. But it's pretty minimal. It's mostly all hops. That's nice. It's very light, which makes sense. It's only 5.8 ABV. It's a little more citrusy on the flavor than the aroma. Um, a little more like bitter orange peel character. It's not like super bitter where it's like burning my tongue, but it does have a nice bitterness to it, which I appreciate. It's not overly sweet, but actually does finish with like a really doughy malt character. There's a little bit of like earthy, like almost like minerally character in the mid palate. So you get like the bitter orange and pineapple up front, and then it kind of gets a little earthy and minerally, and it finishes with that doughy, malty character. But overall, this is really nice. It is very, very flavorful for a lower ABV hoppy beer, for sure. You know, and this is just a labeling nomenclature type thing, but I always think it's weird whenever breweries say like wheat IPA or because so many of these hazy IPAs now have wheat in them. You know, for me generally, if you're gonna have wheat on the label, then I almost expect it to be fermented with um, some type of hefeweizen or wheat yeast. Because when people drink a wit beer, they don't realize, they think a lot of the flavor that wit beers or Hefeweizens have is from the wheat, but it's not. It's from the yeast. And so you can put wheat in a bunch of different beers. It really doesn't change it that much. It might change the body, it might change the flavor a little bit, but it's the yeast that's the main driver in those beers. So usually when I hear like wheat IPA or white IPA, I expect it to be fermented with a Hefeweizen yeast or a wit yeast, like a Hopfenweiss or whatever they want to call it. And a lot of times those don't necessarily work that well, so I'm not saying that those are the better products and that's necessarily what I want. But it's kind of weird from a naming convention because this is definitely through and through uh, an IPA or a pale ale. Like I'm 99% sure this is not brewed with a Hefeweizen or wheat yeast, which in my opinion actually makes it better because I think for hoppy beers it's better to have a clean yeast rather than have those because I don't really like estery and hoppy together. It's just kind of weird to have that because so many brewers now put wheat in their hazy IPA, so I think it's kind of odd to mention that. But maybe these guys don't put wheat in their IPAs that often, and that's why they, put this on the can. I don't know. There's a little bit of like a limey character to it too. Definitely very citrusy, and it does have that orange peel character. Like it's a little pithy, but it's also a little like it does have a little bit of like orange juice, and not like orange juice that you buy at the store, even like the Simply Orange stuff. I mean, just like the clear juice that you taste out of biting an orange. It reminds me of that. But it does have a good bit of a pineapple character too. I'll tell you what, these I feel like a lot of people outside of the Charlotte area who aren't familiar with High Branch might not like their stuff as much because I think people are getting more and more attuned to like the sweeter IPAs. But their stuff is pretty. It's bitter, but it's bitter in a traditional IPA sense, not bitter like it's so saturated with hop particles that it burns the back of your throat. Like I don't like that bitterness. Traditional IPA, like IBUs from boiling hop bitterness, I can handle fine, and this is more reminiscent of that because it's super juicy all the way through, but it has a really nice like drying bitter finish on the back end where you still taste all the juicy hops, but it cuts off the sweetness right away where it's just like dry orangey character. It's not like sweet malt and orange, which I get from a lot of hops. They really, really have dialed these in. I'll say that much. I mean, I'm gonna wreck through this can. This is so drinkable. But I'll say it's pretty obvious by everything I've said. But on my scale of buy, drink, dump, this is absolutely a buy. Super crushable. Honestly, the flavor is so intense. Like I say it's crushable because I can crush through this can, and I think it's really tasty. But the flavor is so intense. Like I don't think it's crushable in a sense that I would want to have like a whole 6-pack of it. Because that flavor is just so big that I just get tired of a lot of flavor. Even if it's something I really like, I get tired of a lot of flavors. If I'm drinking a lot of it, so I don't even know that this would necessarily be something that I would want to drink all day, but that doesn't mean it's not worth buying again. It's just not something that you're going to session with. But you could because it's not that strong. But it in and of itself, like in one serving or maybe 2 or 3 cans would be fine. But I don't know if I can handle it like all day because it's pretty robust flavor, and the bitterness I feel like would wear on me. But that's just my personal preference. But it is great for what it is. So I would definitely buy this again. But I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.